All right, so now we're going to use our ability to traverse arrays in this Colorful Colors program. We're going to practice traversing and counting. So get the start code here and follow along with me. I've got it open up already here. It's just got this basic menu, display all colors, go, starting letter, go, and random color, go. And I've loaded a colors array of 140 colors from a file. Ta-da, right? It's just the color names in there. And if we go to our code, you should see there's my HTML, there's my web colors.txt, and we're interested in main.js. Right, so I've loaded the colors, I have this output element, we get the button working, get the selection. This is a very common setup for basic programs here. Get that menu selection, and then based on the menu selection, we call a function. And then we'll do all of our work inside of these functions, depending on what the user selects from the menu. Okay, so we'll start with the display all, and we're going to display all of the colors, right? We've got this array of colors, and I want to display them on the screen, maybe one in each paragraph, kind of just like we did the names of my siblings. So, what do we got here? We got a variable called colors. We've got our output element, so let's loop through my variable. So I said before, we're going to do this loop a lot. Let I be 0, because I want to start at position 0 in my array. I is less than colors.length, right? Because I want to go from 0 all the way to the end of the array, which ends at length minus 1. And I want to increase by 1 each time. Okay, and then what do I want to do inside of my loop? Well, let's do this. I'm just going to cut this. We're going to go output element.inner HTML plus equals, because we want to add on to what's there. And let's just do colors at position I. Right? Colors at 0 will be the first color, colors at 1 will be the next color, colors at 2 will be the next color. And let's just see what that does. So display all colors, go, and wow, look at that. They're all on one big line all together. So, looks like it worked though. No error messages, they're there. All right, so what we want to do though here is let's actually make well, we could do this a couple ways. I could just go plus a BR tag, like so, and that'll just, it's like hitting enter at the end of each line. Oh, and I should, oh, and that's the thing, right? So there's all my colors, beautiful. If I hit go again, notice how my bar there, it duplicates them, right? So go, 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 my speed, it just keeps adding on to it. So what we should really do is before this loop, we should set the inner HTML to be the empty string, just empty it, and then add things to it. And that should now, yeah, it's not making the page any bigger, it just loops them all and prints them out. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Now we can get a little fancier here. Instead of doing, we could do a template string here. And then we don't need that, and I don't need the plus sign. And instead of doing a BR, maybe we could do a div / div like that. Okay, oh, and then we can do this now, but it's just going to print out colors I. Let's check it out. All right, colors I, colors I, colors I. And that's because we need to do our little template string trick with the $ curly brackets. So we actually look inside of our array at position I and get, ta-da, a whole bunch of divs. That's nice. Now if we wanted to go to our style sheet, well, hold on, just let me look at my HTML. We've got our output div, and then we're putting divs inside of that output div. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to select my output element, and then a space, and then div. And that basically says select all divs that are inside of the element with the ID output. And let's just do a little border, 1 pixel solid gray. And we can see, we can style it up and have these nice little divs. This is beautiful. Okay. Oh yeah, and then what I wanted to do here was main.js. We can actually go inside of our div opening tag here and add a style attribute, which I don't recommend you do generally. You shouldn't do this. It's better to use a style sheet. But when we're doing JavaScript, we can take advantage of the style attribute. And I'm going to go background. Oh dear, I can't remember if it's JavaScript. No, I think I can do the CSS properties. Background hyphen color, colon, and then I'm going to insert colors I. And then a semicolon. Nope, a semicolon there. Okay, and if I did this properly, style equals quotations, end quotations, background color, and then we'll put the color in there. Hopefully we will see, we'll see a lot of colors. Beautiful. Okay, that's pretty cool. If we look at the elements here, you can see that, right, so style, background, hyphen, color, lavender, background colors, thistle, plum, violet, etc. Okay, that's pretty cool. And of course, the text, that text actually you can see pretty good on most of them, just the darker ones. Obviously black isn't good. Okay, so that's traversing and looping through the entire array and then putting all these colors onto our page, right? Doing that plus equals to add them to that inner HTML. Now, let's do the same thing. I'm going to copy and paste this entire stuff for the starting letter. The only difference now is I still want to traverse the entire array, but I want to add an if statement, and I only want to add certain elements to this if they start with a specific letter. So let's go if colors at position I. Now that's going to give me the color. Now how do I look up the starting? Let's say we've got thistle, that's the string. If we can treat strings like arrays actually. Thistle at position 0 is the T. Thistle at position 1 would be the H, right? So 0, 1, 2. Each character is stored at a position. So I could actually go colors at position I would give me the color as a string, and then go position 0 to get the starting letter. And let's see if that starting letter is equal to, I don't know, M. Okay, and I think it has to be capital because all the colors start with capitals. So now we're going to go to starting letter, and ta-da, we get all of the colors that start with M. So nothing major here. We did the exact same thing as the display all. Just inside of our loop, we're going to test each color. If the current color, right, the color at position I, that current color, if its first letter, right, square bracket 0 gets me the first letter, if it equals M, then I'm going to add it to the page. Okay, and then we could actually prompt the user here. Let start letter be assigned prompt, enter a starting letter, right, and then I will check here if it equals that start letter. So I can now go here, starting letter, go, enter starting letter A, and then it gives me all the ones that start with A. Starting letter of B, all the ones that start with B, and etc. C, here we go. Now, the only thing I'd also like to do with this is I can count this myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not that hard. But a common thing, if we had more data and we didn't want to hand count it, it's good that our computer knows how to count things. So we can also do a count here, and you should be pretty familiar with this from looping in CS10 and other things. So create a count variable, which I'm going to initialize to 0, and we want to do that outside of our loop, right? And then every time I find a color with that starting letter, not only do I want to print it out to the screen, I want to go, not colors, count plus plus, right? So count 0, every time I found a color with that letter, I go count plus plus. And then once the loop is done, I'm just going to go output elements.innerHTML plus equals. I don't want to, if I did the assignment operator, it would overwrite everything, all the work I just did. So I want to go plus equals, and then I'll do maybe a little paragraph at the end, and I'll insert the count variable into that paragraph. And we can go number of colors, and then insert the count variable. Okay, so that's an important skill, right? Count variable 0, loop through, add 1 to it every time we find a color that matches the criteria we're looking for, in this case the starting letter. And then once the loop is done, we can output our count. Let's try that. So display all colors. There we go. Now we could do a count for this, but we could also just do colors.length because it's all of them. Colors.length would be 140. Starting letter, go. Let's go the A. Number of colors, 5. Nice. Starting letter, let's try G. 7 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. Okay, I think that was the main goal. Traverse and count. Okay, so we can traverse all the colors. We're going to display and count all the colors with a specific starting letter. And there's lots of different things you can test in here, of course, right? With your if statements. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.